Earl Simmons, better known by his stage names DMX and Darkman X, is an American rapper and actor. In 1999, DMX released his best-selling album. And Then There Was X, which featured the hit single Party Up. He has acted in films such as Belly, Romeo Must Die, Exit Wounds, Cradle to the Grave, and Last Hour. In 2006, he starred in the reality television series DMX, Soul of a Man, which was primarily aired on the BET cable television network. In 2003, DMX published a book of his memoirs entitled, E.A.R.L. The Autobiography of DMX. DMX has sold over 30 million records worldwide, making him one of the best-selling hip-hop artists of all time. Early life: DMX was born Earl Simmons in Mount Vernon and was raised in Yonkers, New York. Simmons went through an abusive childhood that included stays at group homes and frequent arrests. Music career: DMX began his music career in 1988 as a beatboxer. In 1991, Gabriel Gravenstock from The Source magazine praised DMX in his Unsigned Hype column that highlighted unsigned hip-hop artists. His stage name was tribute to an instrument he used in the 1980s, the Oberheim DMX drum machine, and later was interpreted as Darkman X. A year later, Columbia Records signed DMX to their subsidiary label Roofhouse, who released his debut single Born Loser. The single did not get much airplay. The label eventually agreed to release DMX from their contract. He released his second single, Make a Move, in 1994, and made a guest appearance alongside Jay-Z, Ja Rule, and Mike Geronimo on the classic underground track Time to Build on Mike Geronimo's debut album in 1995. He also appeared on LL Cool J's single 4, 3, 2, 1 in 1997. Additional guest spots on May's singles 24 Hours to Live, and Take What's Yours, and the LOX's single Money, Power and Respect created a strong buzz. DMX also made a cameo appearance in the Sum 41 music video for Makes No Difference. 1996 Euro 98, It's Dark and Hell is Hot and Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood. In February 1998, DMX released his debut major label single, Get At Me Dog, on Def Jam Recordings. The single was certified gold by the RIAA. His first major label album, It's Dark and Hell is Hot, which included the single Rough Riders Anthem, was released in May 1998. The album debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200 chart in the US and sold over 5 million copies. Later that year in December, DMX released his second album, Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood. It debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200, where it remained for 3 consecutive weeks. Within 1 week of the album's release, 670,000 units were shipped. It was eventually certified platinum 4 times. As a result, DMX was the second rapper in history to have released 2 albums in the same year, which both debuted at number 1 on Billboard 200. 1999 Euro 2000. And Then There Was X. DMX released his third and best-selling album, And Then There Was X, on December 21, 1999. It was his third album to debut at number 1 on the Billboard 200. Its most popular single, Party Up, became his first top 10 hit on the R&B charts. Singles, What's My Name? And What These Bitches Want were also popular. The album was certified platinum 6 times. 2001 Euro 02, The Great Depression. After improving his legal situation, DMX returned to the studio to complete his fourth album, The Great Depression. Released October 23, 2001, it was his fourth album to debut at number 1 on the Billboard 200, featuring the singles, Who We Be, We Right Here, and Shorty Was the Bomb. Despite the album's triple platinum certification, its commercial and critical success was lower than his previous album. 2003, Grand Champ, his fifth album, Grand Champ, once again debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200 charts, placing DMX as the only musical artist in history to release 5 consecutive albums that debuted at number 1. Singles include, Where the Hood At, and Get It on the Floor. After its release, he informed the public that he planned to retire, and that Grand Champ would be his final album. 2005 A.E.R.L. Year of the Dog. Again in the definition of X, the pick of the litter, DMX signed to Columbia Records in January 2006. He recorded his next album, Year of the Dog. Again, while switching record labels, which caused numerous delays. It was finally released on August 1, 2006, and lost the #1 Billboard spot by only 100 sales. He released 2 more singles, Lord Give Me a Sign, and We In Here. On June 12, 2008, Def Jam released a compilation of his greatest hits, The Definition of X, The Pick of the Litter. Def Jam released another compilation album, The Best of DMX, in 2011, which features hit singles including, Where the Hood At? And X Gon' Give It To Ya. In 2009, DMX claimed he would pursue preaching in Jersey City, New Jersey but will also continue to produce music. He completed a gospel album prior to his incarceration. According to MTV, he had semi-retired to study the Bible more in an effort to give messages behind the pulpit. 2011 A.E.R.L. Present, Undisputed. On October 11, 2011, DMX performed at the 2011 BET Hip Hop Awards. He stated that he has been working non-stop, every day on his 7th album, which was later titled Undisputed. A video for a new track entitled Last Hope was released via internet on September 24, 2011, and was later included on the Way an EP released digitally on May 5, 2012. In late February 2012, Seven Arts Entertainment Incorporated acquired United Music Media Group's music assets, and signed DMX to a 2-album deal. During a performance at New York's Santos Party House on December 25, 2011, DMX stated that the new album will be entitled Undisputed and would be released on March 26, 2012. After numerous delays, the album was eventually released on September 11, 2012 and featured production from Swizz Beatz and J.R. Rodham with a guest appearance by MGK. In 2013, DMX announced he had begun working on his 8th studio album. He has been seen collaborating with producers Swizz Beatz and Dame Grease. In December, after regaining his passport, he embarked on a world tour with performances in Bulgaria and Kosovo, with additional performances expected in Europe and the Middle East. Personal life: DMX is the father of 12 children. He was married to Earl Simmons in 1999 and they were married for 11 years. In July 2010, Earl announced their separation. DMX maintains that the two remain friends. DMX had multiple extramarital affairs during his marriage to Simmons, some of which produced children. DNA testing confirmed that he is the father of at least 2 of these children. The first was born to Maryland resident Monique Wayne in 2004, the second to a different woman in late 2008. DMX and Wayne fought over her claim that he was the father of her son for years, during which she has sued him repeatedly for defamation of character, and for child support. After DNA testing proved DMX fathered Wayne's son in 2007, he was ordered to pay her $1.5 million. On July 30, 2013, DMX filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, citing his child support obligations as his priority claim. The filing was challenged by the Department of Justice's bankruptcy watchdog trustee program, and was later dismissed by the U.S. Bankruptcy Court in Manhattan on November 11, 2013. Legal issues: since becoming a public figure, DMX's multiple arrests have been for offenses including animal cruelty, reckless driving, unlicensed driving, drug possession, and identity falsification. 1998 A.E.R.L. 99, when officers of the Fort Lee Police Department executed a search of his home in 1999, DMX promptly surrendered himself on weapons possession charges. 2000 A.E.R.L. 05, DMX served a 15-day jail sentence in 2000 for possession of marijuana. DMX served another jail sentence in 2001 for driving without a license and possession of marijuana. His appeal to reduce the sentence was denied. Rather, he was charged with assault for throwing objects at prison guards. DMX entered rehab to treat his addiction to drugs in 2002. DMX was arrested in June 2004, at the John F. Kennedy International Airport, on charges of cocaine possession, criminal impersonation, criminal possession of a weapon, criminal mischief, menacing, and driving under the influence of drugs or alcohol, while claiming to be a federal agent and attempting to carjack a vehicle. He was given a conditional discharge on December 8, 2004, but pled guilty on October 25, 2005, to violating parole. DMX was sentenced to 70 days in jail on November 18, 2005, for violating parole. The lateness charge added a 10-day extension to the original 60-day sentence. DMX was released early on December 30, 2005. 2008 11, DMX pled guilty to charges of drug possession, theft, and animal cruelty, at a hearing on December 30, 2008. He was sentenced to 90 days in jail on January 31, 2009. On May 22, 2009, DMX entered a plea agreement change of plea, and pled guilty to attempted aggravated assault. After serving 4 out of 6 months for violating drug probation, DMX was released from jail on July 6, 2010. That day, a television pilot was filmed to portray his road to recovery. However, DMX was arrested 3 weeks later and the pilot did not evolve into a series. On July 27, 2010, DMX turned himself into Los Angeles Metropolitan Court for a reckless driving charge he received in 2002. He was sentenced to serve 90 days in jail. DMX was arrested in Maricopa County, Arizona on November 19, 2010, on charges of violating his probation by consuming alcohol. On December 20, 2010, DMX was moved to the mental health unit of the Arizona State Prison, and released on July 18, 2011. DMX was arrested on August 24, 2011, for speeding, reckless driving, and driving with a suspended license. While DMX admitted to speeding, he claims he was driving 85 mph, not 102 mph as charged. 2013, DMX was arrested on February 13, 2013 in Spartanburg, South Carolina for driving without a driver's license. He was arrested again on July 26, 2013 in Greenville County, South Carolina and charged with driving under the influence of alcohol, as well as driving without a license. DMX was arrested on August 20, 2013 in Greer, South Carolina during a traffic stop after a car he was a passenger in made an improper U-turn. He was arrested due to an outstanding warrant for driving under suspension. 4 packages of marijuana were also found in the vehicle, and he along with the driver were cited for them. DMX was again arrested on November 4, 2013 by the Greenville-Spartanburg International Airport police near Greer, South Carolina after police, who were familiar with his prior arrests, noticed DMX behind the wheel of a vehicle at the terminal. DMX was booked on charges of driving under suspension, having an uninsured vehicle, and not having a licensed vehicle. He was subsequently released after spending 3 hours in jail. Feud with Ja Rule. DMX and Jay-Z guest starred on the single It's Murder from Ja Rule's first album. Ja Rule had previously feuded with Busta Rhymes, Dr. Dre, Eminem and 50 Cent. All of which had been resolved or faded from significance. DMX accused Ja Rule of copying DMX's signature gruff style. DMX said that he wanted the feud to end when he was released from jail in 2005. Gotti came to me in jail and said I want to make peace with you and him. I was like, all right Gotti, let's do it. DMX and Ja Rule finally ended their feud at VH1's 2009 Hip Hop Honors. Discography. It's Dark and Hell is Hot, Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood. And then there was X, The Great Depression, Grand Champ, Year of the Dog. Again, Undisputed, Awards and Nominations, Grammy Awards, American Music Awards, MTV Video Music Awards, Filmography, References. External links, DMX on Facebook, DMX at the Internet Movie Database.